Who should the Browns draft NFL Draft 2021? What's up, everybody? It's your boy JJ Solid, aka your friendly neighborhood Solid Man. And if you want to know who I think the Browns should draft NFL Draft 2021, stay tuned. We're gonna get at it. So, first of all, I'm not doing this in any order. I'm gonna save the actual top 7 or 8 until the end. So, to keep you on suspense, but I'm going to go over what the NFL traits are, and we're going to start with Caleb Farley. So, these are going to be my top 7 or 8, and then I'll do the order later. So, this isn't in any order, and this is also for the Browns. I'm not saying who's the best is going to be, because, overall, I'm saying who I think the Browns should draft, and Patrick Surtain II is going to be lower because I don't think he's even going to be available anywhere near where the Browns would pick, and they'd have to give up way too much. So I will give that away. So I'll start with Caleb Farley, who I'm very high on, but he's injured, and we already have injuries issues with our cornerbacks and safeties. So he's going to be lower, but not because I'm not very high on him. I'm very high on him. But so let's see what they say about him. Give me a second. He's from Virginia. He plays for the Virginia Tech, and I'm not sure why they don't have him. But this guy is super athletic. Give me a second. Okay, next is, since it's on the list, is Patrick Surtain from Alabama. And I'm not sure why they're not showing. Okay, so yeah. Here's the scouting report. I'm not sure why I didn't have Caleb Farley. But super athletic. So draft scouting report is best trait is man coverage. He's also supposed to be a very good tackler. It says elite in bump and run coverage, weaknesses, short area quickness, and questionable top end speed. Okay, so that's Patrick Surtain, who's obviously probably going to be the first cornerback that goes. Asante Samuel the second. Okay, it says rating 88.7, gets eyes back to the quarterback. That's a very good trait, obviously. Be probably faked out less. Strength of fluid hips, tackling ability, weaknesses, ball skills, and size could be an issue in the red zone. And this is coming from, so I don't, it's not letting me show you. Let's see if I can find out. CBS and NCAA, CBS fight. Okay, so J.C. Horn. Okay, the rating is 88.27. The best trait is physicality, strength of press man coverage, LinkedIn athleticism, weaknesses, questionable top end speed, and can play too high at times late in games. Okay, so Greg Newsome II. Let me scroll back. And I've done a lot of research on these guys, not as much as some. I'll get to one of the guys that, in a minute, that one of the reasons I recommend one of the guys I know less about. Greg Newsome II from Northwestern. He has an 87.97. The best trait is fluid hits. The strengths of footwork, positioning. Weaknesses are size and acceleration. I do think he's going to probably be one of the most likely candidates to be available at the 26th spot and not have to trade up for him, which is a good thing. And why I'm going to cornerback, that's the deepest position and the position of most need. Right now, we don't have somebody that we can put out there at the number 2 quarterback and know they're going to be healthy and ready to go no matter what. Greedy Williams is obviously the favorite right now, but he's obviously missed time in both seasons, and I don't think he played at all last season. So, I think and also we want to do a dime coverage, so that's 6 defensive backs and a lot of nickel. So, eventually get to the dime coverage, that's a lot of defensive backs. So, and those injuries are going to pop up, obviously, as you saw that. Calvin Joseph. Okay, so this is where I'm recommending him he's the number 2 cornerback for the 1A, I think 1B, Vach Lombardi, who, if you're not following him, you definitely should. He's uh, specializes in the NFL draft. He knows his stuff. He goes through tons of film, and yeah, must follow. So I'm going off of him. He's his number 2 cornerback, and that's enough for me to really go, since I know so much less about him than others. The draft scouting report is an 85.9 rating. Best trait is playmaker. Strengths are locating the football. And weaknesses are decision making and consistency. And Eric Stokes, another one I know less about, but the more I hear about him, and he's probably the second cornerback going to go from Georgia, but from what I've heard, he's the one that's most likely to succeed. So the draft scouting report is an 82.73. Obviously, this is not a first-round draft pick. This is if we go somewhere else in round 1, maybe wide receiver, maybe possibly safety, very less likely linebacker. So we have an edge, probably the favorite to go, but the depth and edge, I don't know. It scares me. That's why I'd rather go edge second, even though we need edge after this year. So the best trait is vertical speed. Strengths are speed and man-to-man coverage. Weaknesses are locating the football and grabs too much in coverage. So now I'm going to go to my rankings, and I'll say a little bit more about what I like and what I dislike, why I rank them there. Give me a second. And give me a second. I'll be right back. Alright, so the ranking on number 1 is J.C. Horn. I don't think he's going to be there at 26, but he's my number 1 guy no matter what. Just so much. He's probably not going to be the number 1 cornerback, probably the number 2 or 3 cornerback drafted. I just see here so much about him. He's also the top cornerback for Vach Lombardi, who I'm a big fan of. The second is, and this is probably the most likely candidate to be there at 26 and not have to trade up, which is Greg Newsome II from Northwestern. And I'm very high on him because he gets the most publicity of somebody that's likely to be there at 26, and I don't have to trade up, and I still want somebody that is possible either a good starter or a backup. So then I have Kelvin Joseph, Bossman Fat from Kentucky. This is the guy I'm going off of Vach Lombardi's. Okay, so Kelvin Joseph, who is known as Bossman Fat from Kentucky. I'm just basically going off. I've heard the least about him of any of these guys, but he's really high, super high on him. He's normal 2 cornerback, and that's enough for me. So he has a lot of good traits, but I know the least about him. Number 4 would be Patrick Surtain, the second from Alabama, who's supposed to be a really good tackler, probably the number 1 cornerback gone. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near. He'll probably be gone by 15 at the lowest, probably maybe 10th. I think there's a good chance of him going maybe to Dallas, because there's no way that tight end is going to be there at number 10 for them. So again, this is no particular order. This is just what I think the Browns should do. So there's no way they should trade up to get Patrick Surtain. I don't think he's as good as advertised. They're definitely not the number 1 cornerback. So, and it would take so much to get him that I'm not a fan of that. So Eric Stokes from Georgia would be number 5. I higher on him than a lot of these guys. I know a lot more about him, but I'm going to take Vach Lombardi's word for it that Kelvin Joseph is better. But I'm very and he's probably not even going to be the first cornerback drafted from Georgia. But from what I hear, he's the better long-term option. So that's enough for me. Asante Samuel is an interesting case, and I think he's better at zone coverage. Of all these guys, I definitely, if we have to pick him in round 1, I'd be really scared. But he could be number 2, in the second round or the third round. He'd be a tremendous value for us from Florida State. Okay, so Caleb Farley, I hear so much about, and he has basically like a super high ceiling, but he's also injured, and that's the reason I have him seventh, because I hear such good about him, but we don't need any more injuries at number one. And again, I'm going to go a little bit, since I have a little bit more time, I'm going to go into why I think we should go cornerback with our first round selection, assuming we keep it. Edge is obviously a need. We only have our two top edge rushers are only 1 year contracts, but so do we definitely need one? But I'm higher on some of the guys that are likely to be second and third rounders, and I think cornerback's a lot deeper. So I'd rather go cornerback first. It's the bigger need this year. We definitely need a second cornerback. Our second cornerback is from last year, gone. We didn't keep him. He went off via free agency. So right now, Greedy Williams is our number one option to be the number 2 cornerback, and he's been injured both years. So that's a thing that we need to be careful about. If we can't get a guy that's solid, and again, we want to run a lot of primary dime coverage, and secondary would be nickel. So we're going to need a lot of good talent in the defensive backfield. And we had so many injuries. A lot of teams had so many injuries, but we had and sometimes we were down to our, third, fourth, fifth, sixth cornerbacks. So you can never have too many defensive backs. So again, Caleb Farley, I'm really high on, but I don't think he's a good match for us. So this was my top 7 cornerbacks and why I would take cornerback first, most likely. So again, this is JJ Solly, aka John Solly, aka your friendly neighborhood Solly Man. Hope you have a great one. Peace. Thanks for watching, and like, share, and subscribe.